Guide dogs are fantastic, and I can't say enough good things. And you might be wondering if you should get one. Well, today I'm going to give you some reasons why maybe you shouldn't get a guide dog. And that's coming up right now. What's up, VIPs? Derek here, back with another video where it's all about helping you discover life after sight loss. On this channel, we do product reviews, life advice, encouragement, how-tos, and so much more. So if that sounds good to you, consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. As I've said before, when somebody loses their sight, one of the things they ask is, can I get a guide dog now? Is that a thing I can do? Because let's face it, people like dogs, at least for the most part. So if you're interested in getting a guide dog, you might be asking, should I get one? Is it going to be beneficial for me? That sort of thing. And the reality is, asking should you get one is a good question, but maybe more importantly, you might be asking the question, why shouldn't I get one? So I thought I'd give you just a few reasons that maybe you should at least rethink the idea of getting a guide dog. First of all, and this one's pretty obvious, but if you don't like dogs, you probably don't want to get a guide dog. Now, I know, again, that seems obvious, but it's important to note. Guide dogs are dogs, first and foremost. And they're pretty big dogs. Labs and golden retrievers and big poodles and, all kinds of German shepherds, all kinds of dogs. And, you're not going to get this little miniature thing. It's going to be a pretty big dog. So if you don't like dogs, you might not want to go ahead and pursue getting a guide dog. Secondly, you might be saying, I don't like the idea of being responsible for a dog that much. Let's face it, being responsible for yourself is hard enough. Taking on responsibility for a dog can be even more. You got to take it to the vet and get it shots. You got to make sure that it gets food and water and groomed. You got to take it out to the bathroom. You got to make sure that it's well taken care of, especially since you go in public places. And if taking responsibility for the dog sounds like a little too much for you in your situation, you might want to rethink getting that guide dog. Now, let me go ahead and say this little disclaimer here. You might be in a situation where having the dog right now sounds like a little too much for you. Maybe you just lost your sight not too long ago and you're in a place where it's like, I don't think I can handle taking care of something else right now. That's perfectly okay. But if your situation changes, if you love dogs and your situation changes, then you can probably rethink it. So don't say, well, I can't ever have a guide dog because, I can't take it right now. You never know when it's going to change, and you never know how you can handle things when a little time has passed. Thirdly, you might say, I never walk anywhere. I never go anywhere independently. I never travel alone. And if that's the case, again, you might want to rethink the guide dog. If you're never by yourself, if you never ever go anywhere independently, the guide dog might not be as beneficial as you might think. Now, again, I'm not saying that you can't get a guide dog if you don't travel independently, but the point of the dog is to give you more independence, to help you get out there and experience the world on your own without always having to be with someone. And again, if you don't travel independently, nothing wrong with that. You do what's best for you. But if you don't travel independently, you might want to rethink the idea of getting that guide dog. And finally, maybe you say this, I've never had any orientation and mobility training. If you've never taken O&M training, if you don't know what that is, again, orientation and mobility, helping you get around, helping you figure out where you are, helping you get from point A to point B, if you've never had that training, that is something you need to do first. You need to have that training. So you need to put the guide dog thought aside for just a little while until you get the training. And it's important to have O&M regardless of the dog or cane or any other tool you use, because you have to know how to get around yourself. The guide dog is not a furry GPS. So there are a few things to consider why you maybe shouldn't be getting that guide dog. And like I said, for some of them, maybe you just shouldn't right now. And your situation might change. Maybe your vision changes. Maybe your life changes and you move or something of that nature. Hey, then it might be different and you can go ahead and pursue getting that guide dog. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, I can't say enough good things about guide dogs. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. And if they fit well in your life and they're going to help you be more independent, by all means, go for it and start that new partnership with your guide dog. So my question for you today is this. Number one, do you have a guide dog? And number two, if you don't, What stops you from going ahead and pursuing getting a guide dog? Maybe you don't want a guide dog and you're like, I'm good like I am. Or maybe you have one of these situations I mentioned in today's video. Regardless, I'd love to hear about it, and I know others would as well, so let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with somebody you know, and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. And until next time, remember that sight loss isn't the end, it's just the beginning. My name is Derek Daniel from LifeAfterSightLoss.com, and I'll see you in the next one.